We're back at it with the most exciting game you've ever seen. It's just pinball. That's all it is. It's not Pinbot. It's not themed pinball. It's not the vastly superior Revenge of the Gator on the Game Boy. It is just pinball. So there's not really a whole lot to this, I'm willing to bet here. Let me see if I can... Okay, yep. So, very simple controls, as I had anticipated. You press either side of the controller, basically. Now, I'm no good at pinball. I'll be the first person to admit that. I tend to choke a lot. Don't expect to see any top-tier pinball action here. Because I'm not very good at pinball, I also... Ooh, see, right there. Terrible at pinball. Because I'm also not very good at pinball, I don't have a whole lot intelligent to say about pinball. There are a lot of people who, you know... They can tell you exactly what makes a good pinball table, and what makes a bad pinball table, consequently. Me, you know, you throw a pinball table down at me, and I'll probably tell you, that is a pinball table. Couldn't tell you the major difference between Star Trek The Next Generation pinball and Addams Family pinball, although I do know they are both all-time classics. When you get really lucky, see, you don't even have to really play the game. You can just watch it bounce forever. And then there's that. It's my least favorite part about pinball there, when it goes down the middle like that, and there's the middle. When it goes down to the right or the left, and there's just nothing that you can do about it one way or another. But, yeah, this is clearly the first representation of pinball on the NES, as we are still, you know, in the infancy of this blurst system. And, hey, we got in the hole. That's not what she said. That's, I don't know. There's an innuendo there somewhere. You could probably, execute it much better than I just attempted right there. One thing that I do know is very important when it comes to video pinball is the physics and how the physics operate here. Obviously, there's no, actual 3D going on here, so you don't have a 3D ball surviving in a full 3D surface like you would with a newer Pinball Arcade or Pinball FX game. Ooh, saved. Saved again? No, I can't do anything about it. Alright, that's a game over. But as far as I can tell, you know, with my limited pinball prowess, seems like the ball moves reasonably realistically given the early hardware that it's on. Now, this is not the oldest video pinball game that I have played. I have played pinball for the Atari 2600, and that is a real piece of work. I can say that with confidence. That's a game where, boy, you can really get the ball stuck to where you, like, never have to interact with it ever if you're lucky. Or maybe you consider that unlucky, I don't know. Those are the two schools of thought. Although I think generally, people who go for pinball high scores are typically looking for that scenario where the ball is just kind of doing its own thing, floating around all over. Because, hey, you know, if you don't gotta do anything and it just keeps bouncing up against bumpers like that, it's pretty much a guaranteed high score every time. Now, of course, the laws of physics mean... The laws of physics, of course, mean that that won't necessarily go on forever. It's not indefinite. I want to see if you can get kind of like a trick shot through here. Nope. I thought maybe those pink bars on the side, it would go through and you'd get a bonus for it. I know there are quite a few pinball machines that do that. Pinball does fascinate me. I know I said I'm bad at it, and I know I sounded very lukewarm at the notion of playing an hour of NES pinball. But pinball machine design is cool, and it's very interesting to see, you know, like how they operate. Like, so many pinball machines, I don't know if this one so much has it, but so many of them have, like, pretty much mini games that are going on throughout pretty much the entire game. Now, I'm willing to bet that there's a fair bit of that going around. We can see, we got those numbers there, 337. I still have no idea what that is pertaining to. We got the, yeah, those little... Oh, okay, we have... I was gonna say something, but... Oh, I got a crying cat now. Oh, no. Oh, no, if you can hear that, then, he's very adorable, but, boy, he just loves to make his presence known when I'm in the middle of stuff. He's been pretty good, actually, during most of my, recording of this series, but like especially if I'm doing work stuff. I'm working from home at the moment, and boy, he is always up in my business or very hard to get stuff done. But he's the cutest thing ever, so he can get away with whatever he wants. That sounds very ableist of me, but you know, I don't even know if that's correct use of ableist. He is trying to get my Arnold Palmer right now that I've got sitting on the side for ineffective throat relief. Oh gosh, he has just jumped up on the desk. Hey, get away from my Arnold Palmer, yo! Oh my goodness. I have no idea if his tail went into view. I wasn't looking at my webcam, but yeah, he's going nuts. Okay, that's another game over. I kind of anticipate it happening, you know? I don't know if anything beats an Arnold Palmer during the summer. It's genuinely one of my favorite drinks. Cat, you need to you need to figure out what you're doing with your life here. He is walking behind my monitors, pacing, glaring at me through the cracks. He's just a boy who wants attention, you know? Hold on, I'm sorry, I gotta pause this. Oh my gosh. I have no idea how the VCam is gonna deal with his presence. I don't know how much of him is gonna be phasing in and out. Here he is. I know you were here to watch Nintendo, but Toulouse has made his presence known. He's being obnoxious. Had to pull him out from where he was, because he's ready to cause nothing but trouble. Now you've seen a ghost cat that phases in and out. That's his special affinity. I don't know what I'm hitting all the time, but it's making the score go up, so it's obviously a good thing. You know, obviously your pinball high score chasers, I've watched a fair amount of them, and you know, they're the ones who really know the machines that they're playing inside and out. They know how to aim the ball when they hit it. They know what they're aiming for. I'm just, you know, kind of in the very elementary class of try to keep the ball alive and just trust that your score will naturally go up over the course of time. I'm noticing that it's exceptionally... Oh, come on. It's exceptionally difficult to get this ball back up to the top screen if you fall down to the bottom screen. I don't know if that's by design or what. I'd almost have to assume it is, just, you know, given the reality of the situation. Can we just get into like a perfect bounce where it just bounces through the 1000 infinitely? That'd be pretty cool. I still don't know what we're going for with the little slot machine there. I mean, I'm assuming, as with any slot machine, you want to get a match and then you truly get the big boy points. But it's exceptionally difficult to reset it. If I were good at pinball, it would be no problem. I'd know like exactly where on the paddle I gotta yeet it off, and then... Because it's gotta go through that little green thing on the side with the 500 points attached to it. I at least know that much, that is what resets the slot machine. Oh, look at that. Okay, it had to end eventually. We're definitely on pace for a juicy top score, though. There we go, reset that slot machine. Oh, we just need one more penguin. Can we get one more penguin? Or will we... Ah, we fell down. We have not exposed all of the cards either, so, you know, there's a number of things that we haven't done. But as is the case with slot machines, you know, you explore the machine, you work it all out, you determine... Oh, nice. Okay, so hatching all the birds at once, it gives us the bouncers on the side. I don't know what you call those. I'm sure there's a technical term that all the pinball wizards out there use. Okay, Slot machine is obviously reset. Let's get it going again. See if we can get ourselves a jackpot. Nope. Immediately that was messed up. Ah, no, no, no. All right, well, that was a high score. At least we got that much going for us. I'm hoping that Game B is an entirely different table. That would give a little bit of variety here. I know that there are mini games in this game as well, just through knowing of this game in pop culture. I think there's one where you gotta like use Mario to bounce the pinball around and all that. So there is some depth to this table. I just, you know, don't have the skill or the knowledge to access everything. But there's something kind of hypnotic about pinball, you know? You watch the ball bounce around and it just kind of feels like a good time. Of course, we got the bumpers active and then just go right down the middle. Is there anything quite so classic? Bad news there. It definitely seems like once you get below these bumpers, you're just kind of stuck in the Twilight Zone. I mean, we got back up and activated the ace, but I waited way too long to try to bounce it. I was trying to get cute and get it off the tip, hoping that something neat would have happened, but you fly too close to the sun, don't be surprised when you burn up and become a piece of floating space debris that nobody ever wants to look at again. That's how the saying goes. Yeah, you hit that ball. All right, slots. We're ready. Okay, that's how you activate the numbers there. You just bump the little pink paddle. You missed the pink paddle. Oh, 777! We did something! I changed the color of the board. Hooray! Boy, I don't know what we did, but we did it. Was I supposed to, like, let it go down the center there? Because I saw a little pink ball there. Maybe I should have just let it go down for the sake of science to see what happens. Because I don't know if I'm ever going to manage that again. Well, no, just... The very concept of random chance would dictate that that has to happen again, whether I'm aiming for it or not. Yeah, get that ball up there. Okay, we got our bumpers. Yet again. We got it up to the upper screen, but you know, not to the point where we could do anything with it. I'd love to uncover the cards. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to. Thank you, bumper. I feel like it's totally luck as to whether I actually get all the chicks hatched or not, just because, you know, I've been over this. I'm not exceptional. This is not my ideal style of game. But that's, you know, part of the reason why I'm doing this entire series. Experience the things you wouldn't normally experience. Challenge yourself. I'm going to check out game type B once we hit the half-an-hour point. See if there's any notable difference. I know some of these earlier Nintendo games, your game types really feels like there's not much of a difference at all. There's just little minor changes, like Excitebike, you know, same tracks, but now you got people. Mach Rider, kind of similar as well. So I'm hoping that it's an entirely different machine. I wish that there was a, you know, like a bump kind of mechanic to bump the machine. There's probably a word for that too. any pinball fans out there are in agony right now watching me try to explain what's going on and probably just watching me play it too. But you know, pinball, it's very much one of those things where it's much easier to look at somebody play it and then think, ah, I would have saved that ball. That wasn't that hard at all. How did he botch that? And then, you know, then you try to play it and it's considerably more difficult. I'm not saying, hey, don't criticize me. Not at all. I deserve any little bit of criticism that you're going to throw at me for my performance here. But I am saying, when I watch pinball, it always looks way easier than it is. Okay. I wonder how high up that little paddle on the corner there increments. It's up to 400 now, but I'm curious as to how much sauce you can get on that. Hey, we hit all those and nothing happened. I was hoping for, you know, some fanfare for blowing all those up. Bumping them, hitting them, I don't know what terminology you want to use. That's a 3. That's a penguin. That's not perfect. Alright, the seals are playing. I repeat, the seals are playing. And they've stopped. So I don't know what significance the seals playing have. I don't know if there's any way to interact with that, or if it's just one of those things that moves for the sake of looking cute and exciting. No luck there again. Ah, 2 penguins and a 3. You mock me, game. You mock me. Alright. Apparently after even pushing down all the flags over there, you still kind of have a unique bounce off that wall. It's probably not even worth mentioning, but you know, it's pinball. I am starved for content here. At this point, I'm just kind of relying on the hypnotizing nature of the game to carry this video to its conclusion here. You know, it's fun enough to watch the ball go back and forth, and that's all the reason I can give. I have actually found myself before watching, like, hour-long pinball runs, and I'm talking, like, consecutive runs where they're just, like, ridiculously high scores, and those are always impressive. You gotta wonder how much of that is luck and how much is skill. I'd imagine more skill than luck. I mean, obviously, or else, you know, you couldn't be good or bad at pinball. If it were all luck, then it would just be a throw of the dice as to whether you are good or bad at pinball, and obviously that's not the case. I don't want to downplay anybody's ability in pinball. Oh, we just got the 2 flag left. Narrowly saved that one. Good. I like... every time I get the side bumpers up, I just go right down the middle and ruin it. Like, the side bumpers don't matter. If the side bumpers are down, I'll go down the side. If they're up, I'll go down the middle. That's, you know, kind of the Murphy's Law of pinball, I guess. Okay, took my hand off the controller for slightly too long there. It's points. It's definitely points. Give me some more of those. Hey, okay, no, this is the mini game I was talking about. Where it basically turns into Arkanoid. Oh, we almost got an escape there. But no, you want to spend as much time here as possible, you know? It's free real estate. Oh, no. Oh. No. Alright, never mind. It has left us. We certainly do. Oh, but it does shoot you back up to the top. So that's probably, you know, the intended way to get back up to the top screen. Well, I'm excited that I just got to see that now, you know. Of course, making it back into that little hole is very, very tricky. I'm sure that there's like a pixel perfect spot on that left bumper where you can aim it right into there. And that ain't it. What do you do about that, right? What can you do? I would have to imagine you probably get an extra ball at 50,000 points. The embarrassing part being that, you know, I haven't made it even remotely close to 50,000 once yet. Yeah, there we go. Let's get the slot machine up and running there. Ah, that's already terrible. How am I supposed to gamble in my children's video games when you're not giving me anything to chew on here? I mean, I guess that's what the gambling is, you know. 3-3 penguin. I see. Who doesn't know the classic 3-3 penguin technique? Passed down from generation to generation. As opposed to 3-2-1 penguins. That bizarre Christian edutainment video series. By the makers of VeggieTales, actually. And I don't care who you are, I don't care what your religious beliefs or cultural background is. VeggieTales was a legitimately funny and well-made series. I got lots of atheist friends who I think would agree. If something's funny, it's funny, you know? Doesn't matter what the moral or the lesson is there. I can get a laugh from things of various different backgrounds. Look at me flexing on how tolerant I am. Yeah, that's a quick little bird sweep right there. The bird sweep technique when you need to get those bumpers up. I told you, if the bumpers are up, we're going down the middle. Oh. It's alright. Here's what you can do. The ball is going to go wherever it pleases. There's actually quite a bit you can do. You can aim the ball properly. You can have better reflexes on your actual paddle control. Speaking of paddles, and this is very loosely related, I have never used a paddle controller on an Atari 2600. I've just never been in the situation where I have known somebody who has both had an Atari and had a paddle controller for it. That said, I've only actually touched an original Atari 2600 like once in my life. I've been meaning to pick one up for a long time now. They're not expensive. It's just, you know, the kind of thing where you got limited finances, you're like, do I really want to spend my money on that was terrible. Do you really want to spend your money on an archaic gaming system with like 5 actually worthwhile games? In a way, yes I do, but the time's got to be right, you know? One of these months I'm just going to feel that pressure and I'll be like, now's the time. Now we order the Atari. It doesn't help that my favorite model is the most expensive model. I'm a big fan of the original Sunnyvale Heavy 6er, where it's got the 6 switches on the top and the nice big thick boy frame on the edges. It's a beautiful model. And that's not to say that it's like unreasonably expensive or anything like that, but it's definitely more than the 2600 Junior or the 4-switch model. And yeah, you don't actually miss out on anything with the 4-switch model. The other 2 switches are just on the back. But, you know, I love the aesthetic of just switches hanging off of it everywhere. It's just charming. And the light 6er would work in a pinch, I guess. But the thick frame across the edges is just so appealing. So now you know my personal preference in Atari models. Maybe you're a Sears Telegames kind of guy. Maybe you prefer the Sears branded 2600 for even more corporate power. Or maybe you're an Intellivision guy. I don't know. Some of those exist. I think my dad is an Intellivision guy, actually. I think he talks about how they had an Intellivision when he was young. I mean, if you like to use a phone as a controller, sure. Now that's just kind of some needless snark right there. By all means, the number pad on the Intellivision controller, while looking ridiculous to this day and being a bit unwieldy, it was an innovative way to get a lot of buttons. I mean, not that innovative, you know. I mean, in the end, they basically just modeled it after a regular telephone, but... shoot. That was bad. But they tried. When the competition had literally one button... Now that said, I don't know how many Intellivision, or ColecoVision for that matter, they had the phone controller too. I don't know how many of those games actually take advantage of the full number pad, if, like, any. I mean, I'm sure some of them had to have, right? It's not just going to exist there and never be used. But, I'm willing to bet it's the kind of scenario where, more often than not, it's kind of there for looks. Because what can you really do with Frogger? You gotta believe that the Intellivision had a version of Frogger on it. I'm pretty sure it did. I'd be shocked if it didn't. And how are you gonna make use of a controller with, like, 12 buttons on it with a game that doesn't need any buttons? Well, I guess you need a button to start the game, but that's about it. Oh, we almost went up that way. That would have been unique. It's a high score, by the way. You know, don't mean to flex my muscles, because we just immediately game over it anyway. My apologies if you can hear swallowing noises and go, ugh, disgusting. But, you know, people drink. I usually have an issue with a fairly raw throat after these sessions, you know. I can talk for a long time, but, you know, generally when you talk, you're having a conversation, you get some downtime here. You don't really think about just how taxing it is on your throat until you actually get up and start trying to do it, and then you realize, oh man, I just spoke for 27 hours straight. Don't do a 27-hour marathon, I beg of you. Wreck you. I don't know when the last time I pulled like a 24-hour day was for anything. I just don't quite have it in me anymore. I remember the first time that I did, I was a very, very scared and confused young boy. I had not been up that long ever, and you know, all of the chemical imbalances in the brain, they got me paranoid. I didn't know what was going on. But no, you know, be careful what you wish for. I wanted to stay up all night, so by God, I stayed up all night. It's just like the second time you get super drunk. I'm not going to say the first time, because I don't know if this is the same for everybody, but I did not get a hangover the first time I was drunk. I actually felt fine the next day. And I've heard that that's kind of a thing. I don't know if that's like scientifically accurate or what, but anecdotally speaking, I felt fine. But the second time, boy, it was a rude awakening. I don't drink very often, specifically because I really loathe hangovers. I mean, nobody likes them, but I particularly don't like them. Like, it's just kind of miserable. Exit! And there we go. And ruined. Well, we saw it exists, so that's something, right? Oh yeah, give me that bonus. Let's see if we can make it better than last time. Yeah. I mean, anything is better than last time. Okay, it appears that it does just bounce off the sides over there. So if it goes over there, I'm fine. I just can't let it get below me. What a goofy pattern it's going in. It just loves to gravitate towards that left side there. We gotta free the princess! Get the princess out of there! If we free this princess, I'm gonna be so immensely pogged. That is not Princess Peach, by the way, you know, in case you couldn't tell by the brown hair. That is, I believe, Pauline. It ain't Daisy either. I don't think Daisy existed at this point. I saved the princess! Unless she just fell to her death and I had to catch her. In which case, well... yeah, I think she fell to her death because it looks like we lost a ball. I should have been paying more attention there. Well, we botched it. We just let the princess die. What a bleak game. The seals are yet again playing. Just throwing that out there. Okay, we get another chance. A shot at redemption. Can we free Pauline without sending her to her immediate demise? Probably not. But at least it's... I was gonna say, at least it's something different to do, you know? Now, instead of hitting paddles left and right, you're just walking left and right. What are video games but a series of walking progressively more left and right? I guess you got your fully 3D games where, you know, you have multiple planes of, existence. Just ordered a couple games, actually. Got an Amazon gift card for my, credit card rewards, and you know what that means? That's free money there. You don't spend that on stuff you need. You just spend that on stuff that is fun. I ordered Code Vein and Death Stranding. I've been very curious about both of them, so hopefully they turn out to be pretty fun. Death Stranding, I know, is a divisive title, being as strange and off the wall as it is. But I like strange and off the wall titles, so I have a feeling I'll jive with it pretty well. A lot of people are like, it just wasn't fun. I'm like... But as long as it's gripping, right? I've played some games that weren't necessarily the most fun thing ever, but they were so unique and just strangely there. Like, they had that it factor where I thought, hey, regardless of whether it's actually that fun or not, it's still enjoyable. Like, that was my main thing for the longest time, was I said video games have to be fun, but I think I've kind of reevaluated that to be video games have to be enjoyable, because you can play a video game that is not quite as fun as some of the competition, but it is still thoroughly enjoyable. Oh no, we're gonna watch this. Yep, once it goes down there, that exit closes off. Okay, good to know. I don't know if I'm gonna, do anything with that knowledge, but we do have that knowledge now. But yeah, that's why I think I'm going to get along with Death Stranding just fine. I know it's bizarre. I know it's divisive. But I like that kind of thing in video games. Like your 10 out of 10 video games, they're all well and good and stuff. And I always enjoy them. But it's almost like the burden of expectation kind of spoils it for you. Like, take Breath of the Wild. 10 out of 10 from, like, everybody. Everybody's calling it, like, oh, the best Switch game ever, the best Wii U game ever, the best Zelda game ever, all this, and, alright, I beat it twice, so I can't rightly claim that I didn't like it, because I clearly like it enough to where I've played it twice, and that's a long game to play twice. But I don't think it's a 10 out of 10, and because of the hype, and a lot of the weird systems in it, I was left just mildly disappointed with some of it. No. The games I love... Let's try game type B. This looks the same. Damn it. Yeah, this is the exact same thing. I figured. What's the difference? Anyway, the games that I always find to be, like, the most shockingly great are the games in that, like, 7 out of 10 range. The games that not every critic agrees is great, they're all... Some of them are like, I thought this was amazing. Some of them are like, I thought it was garbage. And it's like... If you're doing something to where people think you're either great or terrible, you're probably doing something really interesting. Take God Hand. God Hand is an incredibly innovative PS2 game that got absolutely destroyed by some critics. I think this mode is slightly faster, actually. I can't tell. But yeah, God Hand got annihilated by critics. But it has a supreme cult following nowadays. I think this is just a faster game mode. The ball seems to be going a million miles an hour, which might actually be preferable in some ways. So yeah, despite what the critics say, God Hand, with its kind of bizarre build-your-own combo system and very, very weird control scheme, is a very, very interesting game to actually experience firsthand. It's not a 10 out of 10 game, but it's that little niche of just being fascinating. I do that so often in pinball games where I panic flip them both, and as a result, I just wind up smacking it down into the nether. Yeah. And I'm not sure how well received Code Vein was. I probably should know. I pay enough attention to these things usually, but you know, it's a fairly weebish Souls-like game. Seems fine to me. I don't think I'm gonna be disappointed with either of them. All right, that's game type B. As far as I can tell, it's just game type A but faster. Let me go back to type A to compare it. If it's literally just more difficult because it's faster, I should probably just stick with A because I'm already bad enough at pinball to begin with. Yeah, this seems slower. I think that's all it is. Or I could just be in my own head and be totally imagining things. That's possible. Okay. I'm just concentrating really hard here, in case you couldn't tell, you know. I don't know what I'm trying to accomplish by concentrating, you know. My results are probably going to be the same whether I am or I'm not paying attention. Or maybe I'm underselling myself. That is always a distinct possibility. We got it up that way! That's the... oh, and then we squandered it. But that's the first time that we actually got it up through that left side tube. I don't know. It's a functional pinball game. That may seem like loose praise, and because it is loose praise, but it's praise nonetheless. I guess. Now that I think about it, saying functional sounds really backhanded, but I don't think anyone's feelings are going to be hurt that I called NES Pinball just functional. I don't know if there are any fan clubs for this game out there that I'm going to have to worry about doxing me or anything like that. I'm not even big enough to be doxxed, you know? I'm in a very enviable position right now. But, if I've learned one thing from celebrities on Twitter, it's that sometimes, if somebody's threatening to do something like that, just do it yourself first, and then you've taken the power away from them. Chances are no one's going to use that information either. Reminds me of, back when the big iCloud leak happened and a bunch of celebrities' private photos got leaked, and there was some dude on Twitter like blackmailing Sia, the singer. He was like, "I have your nudes, I'll share them unless you pay this much." So she just posted them straight to Twitter herself, and I was like, "Here you go, everyone, enjoy." I was like, "That's spectacular." There was a move. It was a power move that I respected a ton. It's just like, I don't care, man. Now you can't do it yourself at all. Oh, oh, oh! We almost got there. We almost got there. Oh, and then we closed it off forever. I want to know what's in the exit. Although for all I know, the exit probably just brings us back to the spring, and then you reload it and then go back to the top. That's probably all it is. Probably getting way too excited for something that is really rather pedestrian. We have 3 different ways of getting up top here, although we seem to never manage any of them. I shouldn't say never. We've gotten the bonus a couple times now. We even freed and killed Pauline. Does that make Pinball the only game where you can play as Mario and actually actively inhibit a princess's ability to survive? I think so. Well, no. Super Smash Brothers. Pretty obviously, you can beat up Peach, Daisy, and Rosalina as much as you want, in case you're a real weirdo and that's just what you know, it's just where you get your kicks from. It's like some child who's about to murder an animal and turn out to be a serial killer kind of thing. I'm exaggerating. That's obviously not even in the same ballpark as that. Don't worry, I'm not being serious. I feel like that would have been very easily savable. Had anybody other than myself attempted it. I don't even think I've seen this one yet. Of course it's a 10, you know? That's basic sequential card counting there. My soul has left my body. My soul has left my body multiple times in this, actually. Does anyone remember Austin Powers Pinball for the PlayStation 1? There were so many pinball games for the PS1 that were just like, oh, look at that, look at that, look at those points. There were so many pinball games for the PS1 that were just like one pinball table. And like, yeah, I can kind of understand it for like the NES here, because, you know, again, this is the first time that anybody attempted pinball on the NES. You're not going to expect a masterpiece straight out of the gates. But by the time the PS1 rolls around, you're like, are we just not expecting anything more from this? Is one table really like all we want? But then you think about it long and hard. You think, hey, how much do people spend on just one authentic pinball table? Doesn't seem quite so stupid when you put it that way, does it? Look at me shooting down my own arguments. I mean, you could spend hundreds, thousands, not hundreds of thousands, but hundreds or thousands of dollars on an authentic pinball machine. One that you have to maintain, one that you have to know how to operate. So yeah, I guess, you know, that was a terrible run. Dropping, what do you think a pinball game for the PS1 retailed back then? 40 bucks, 50 bucks? I don't know, something around that range. Dropping that much for a table that you don't have to maintain, you don't have to lug around, it doesn't take up a lot of space in your apartment or your house. Probably not that bad of an idea at the time. But you know, now we're so spoiled with things like the Pinball Arcade and Zen Pinball, Pinball FX, stuff like that, where, you know, now if you look at something that just offers you one table, you go, where's the value in that? Of course, the clincher being you do have to buy the majority of the individual tables on Pinball Arcade, so I'm just, you know, poking more and more holes in my point as time goes on. Half the things that I've changed my mind about in this life, well, just like that, I have changed my own mind about them. I get into arguments with myself, I see holes in my own logic, and then I say, I should reevaluate that. Which, you know, I'm hoping that's a reasonably healthy and smart thing to do. You could argue that I'm not sticking to my guns, but I'd say, hey, maybe some things aren't worth sticking to. Maybe some things should be reevaluated and reassessed. Yeah. Aha! You went down the right way. Oh, activate the king, please. We're not going to get the exit because we're just going to, you know, ruin it there. Oh, we bounced out of the way. I want the king to be activated just because I want to see what, if anything, happens, you know? I mean, you can bounce around those bumpers as much as you want, I guess, you know? Build those points up. Oh, we did it. So, let's just let go of the controller and just let it go down and be consumed by that pink dot. Oh, no, okay. It literally just blocks you in for a while. Okay, well, that's notably less exciting than I thought it would be. It's just a safeguard. Okay, now we do get another shot at the princess here. This could wind up being a decent run, actually. We're already at 30,000 and we haven't lost a ball yet. I'm pretty happy with that so far. Do your thing, ball. Get here when you have to. Get here when you can, I suppose, is the more encouraging and proper thing to say in a scenario like that. Oh, come on. Hey, there we go. Okay. That's what that exit is for. And then you can try it as much as you want. You can just keep freeing Pauline. Is Pauline a princess? I don't even know. I don't think Nintendo cares enough about Pauline anymore to determine that one way or another. She's a relic of the past. We're fortunate that we got her in Super Mario Odyssey at all. Thank you. You know, crane down the proper way. I'm just glad that we got one successful save there. Didn't want to end this video off with never saving who I presume is the princess. I think Pauline is a princess canonically, according to the original Donkey Kong, at least. Which, yes, we will be playing Donkey Kong as well, and that will be a massive pain because it's even less content than the arcade original. But that's for another time. For now, we cherish the times that we have with Pinball. Ooh, it's getting spooky. We're definitely gonna high score this though. Look at this. There's no end in sight. It's getting closer. She's gonna fall any minute now. Look at how small those portions are getting. Never mind, we're out of it. But, you know, respectable. We saved one. And then, you know, she's apparently got like a billion sisters. Immediately fell back down to the lower level because that's, you know, that's just what we do. It's still active though. Look at that. We've still got it all blocked up and at the bottom in the middle there. So that's really nice, you know? Oh. And then that had to happen. 50,000 points. We did get an extra ball, so that confirms my suspicions there. And we did at least break 50,000, so I'm happy about that. See, but we've only been playing it for 46 minutes right now, and already we've improved. We're doing better than we were doing in Mach Rider. That game was really hard. Got him. I've only gotten one jackpot on the slots up here, though. You'd think that the 777 would be the best, but knowing this game, the penguins are probably the best. Seems like something they would do. Although, you know, at this point we're lucky if we even match two of them. Yeah, give me the cards. Uncover them all so we are safer. Oh, no. We're close to getting the bumpers up, but wasn't meant to be. Ooh, almost made it in there. The classic. The classic. It's alright, we still got 2 balls left. I know it says ball 1, but you get ball 0 too, so. We can still get this high score up even more. It's so unceremonious. Yes! Oh, the gravitational pull of the bonus hole. You can pay me to never say the words bonus hole again, and I'll accept it. You know, I have no idea how you actually get that little trap door at the bottom open here, but I don't care. I'm here for it. You know, I'm just gonna keep smacking the ball around and racking up tiny incremental points until something magical happens. That's not something magical. That's something very disappointing. I'm disappointed in myself. Okay, go for it. You know. That's what you want to do. That's what you want to do with your life. So close to getting it in the green. Back down here again. One ball left. This is most definitely going to be the highest score that we put down on here. By the way, I don't think we have enough time in the episode to even beat this. So That means we're probably not going to see 100K. But hey, considering we struggled to hit 50K, I'm feeling okay. Yeah. Increment that little bopper. I've gotten so few satisfying loops up through that top left corner. That's one penguin. Can we see two penguins? Nope. Penguin, penguin, 7. It's not what I'm looking for, game. The fact that you would even imply that that is a reasonable compromise is insulting on so many levels. Oh, look at that pointage, though. Look at that. We don't got to do anything. We just sit here and let it happen. I wish I could get to 100,000. That would be swell, as they say in prison. I don't know what they say in prison, you know. I don't know anything about that whole system. That's probably a good thing. Oh, I thought we could have gotten up there. Hey, getting into the bumper hill is good, though. Well, we're already out of it. Okay. There's hope yet. There's hope. I can feel the hope leaving my body. We just need one more card, though, so that's good, right? Of course it's good. What are you talking about? Oh, you dirty, dirty ball. It's teasing me now. The game, it's giving me things that are on the verge of what you could call an opportunity. See, like, it's getting so close to getting sucked into the bonus hole. There's the exit. There goes the exit. Man, you gotta be, like, really precise to get in there, don't you? Man, it just keeps rolling over to the side. We can't get that ace to save our lives. Oh, we're so close to 100K, though. That would be divine. Come on, ball, make it happen. I think it's gonna happen. Oh, yeah! That's 100K. Invisible bumpers! What's going on? Oh, we died. Okay, well. We didn't get another ball at 100K like I thought we would, so that's a little disappointing. We got a few more minutes to kill, you know. We're not going to get a full run over unless this one sucks. But we did get the 6-digit mark. So that's more than I thought was going to happen, you know. I can't be upset with that. I mean, I could, but that would be unreasonable, right? Literally doubled what we thought we'd walk out of. Walk out of? Walk out with? Something like that. Reset it. Give me the triple penguin. Okay, well, it's not going to be triple penguin. We can be sure of that much. It's not going to be triple anything. Can we get the 3 penguin 7 like we always do? Get just, you know, a complete mishmash of nonsense? Apparently we can't even activate the middle one because it's just what happens to us. And again, had I, you know, had more expertise in the matter, there's a chance that I could have made something happen there, but... Okay, princess time. And there goes princess time. Wholly unremarkable. We still have not activated the middle. It's still rolling. It's waiting. Yeah, got it. 377. Everybody's favorite number. Should have had a 1 so you could make 311. And that's death right there. Yeah, it's not bad. That's all I've got. It's not bad. It's no Sonic Spinball. Talk about a game that gets mixed reactions, man. I know a lot of people who say Sonic Spinball is like an abomination sent by the devil. I know some people who say it's a perfectly fine little pinball romp starring everybody's favorite edgy blue dude. Oh, no, 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 no. Get in the exit. I just want to know. I just want to see it. Never lucky, right? Well, that's not gonna do it now, is it? Thinking maybe I should find a way to, like, angle my camera a little bit. I kind of realized that I'm just kind of blocking my entire face with my, God, what's this thing called? I've ordered this, obviously, because I own it, so I have to know what it's called, and I'm just completely drawing a blank. Like, the only term that goes to my mind is microphone muff, and that's not it at all. It's not a de-esser, that's more a digital thing. What are you called? What are you called? Why can't I think of it? It's gonna come to me. Speaking of things coming to me, I gotta make a slight correction. Last episode, during Mock Rider, I mistakenly said that Mad Max, the video game, came out in 2013. It did not. It came out in 2015. So I apologize for, you know, any inequities that I've done against Mad Max, the 2015 video game. Which I stand by saying it was a pretty good game, especially considering the circumstances surrounding it. Those circumstances literally just being, it was a Mad Max game, and it was 2015. Gotta maintain, you know, proper trivia here. If we say something improper, gotta fix it. I don't think anybody would have cared if that was wrong, but, you know, hold yourself to the standard that you would hold others to. So with that being said, if you all get the year of Mad Max incorrectly, I'm absolutely going to judge you intensely, and you'll never want to talk to me again. No, I wouldn't do that. I only judge people that intensely when they misuse the term screamo. Odds are, you've never heard a screamo band. The Black Dahlia murder is not screamo. A Day to Remember is definitely not screamo. Circle Takes the Square is screamo. I'm extremely anal about music genre names, though, especially of metal subgenres. People are like, oh, that's death metal. No, actually, this is war metal. Thank you very much. Of course, the irony is I pissed a bunch of people online when I was like 13 when I mistakenly referred to Slipknot as thrash metal, which in retrospect, yeah, it makes me kind of grimace as well. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, we are speed running pinball now. Look at this. We're gonna speed run a 3-ball game. You just put down the controller and you raise your hands up. I know my arms are phasing out at an insane kind of degree. Turns out it actually takes some time for the ball to drop. That's 59 minutes, though. I can stretch this out by just talking about the game for like a minute or something like that. How do I feel about pinball? Well, I've kind of told you throughout the course of this entire video what I think about pinball. Maybe I can just like lower this like this, you know. Yeah, you can probably hear me just fine like that. I hope so, at least. But you know what I feel about pinball. I've been talking about it. I'm not great at pinball. It's just one board. If you are a pinball nut in the year 1985 and you have just been dying to play pinball in your own home, but Atari 2600 pinball just sucks too badly to be a reasonable alternative, then hey, grab yourself pinball for the NES, because God knows it's your only option. But that's kind of the case with all its launch titles, isn't it? You want soccer? You're buying soccer. You want baseball? You're buying baseball. Now, eventually, you'd have a wide berth of options across many different genres, but at launch, hey, it's a pinball game. Not everybody gets a pinball game at launch. I don't see a pinball launch title for the Xbox Series X coming up, do I? So, there you go. Score 1 NES. Would I buy it? I mean, my love for launch titles and wanting to have all the launch titles might persuade me to do something silly like that, but it's not a priority. I'm sure someday I'll get a copy of Pinball in an NES lot and I'll say, hey, there it is. There's Pinball. Now I've got it in an official capacity. But otherwise, it's reasonable. It functions. The physics are aight for the time. Can't complain too much about that, so if you enjoyed watching the ball go boop, 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 then I'm glad. I'm glad that this was to your liking. Otherwise, join me next time as I yet again pull up the list that I should probably just work on getting up before I start recording so I don't have to pull it up every time. Next time, hey, I just mentioned it. It's soccer. Neat. So yeah, we'll be playing soccer next time here on 60 Minutes to Lose. I think that might even be the first time I've actually said the channel name in a video, but you knew it would happen eventually. So yeah, join me then. Thank you so much for joining me now. I may have just opened up my Discord, and I don't know if you may have seen it or not. I hope not. No, I don't think you would have. Yeah, join me next time. Tell your handyman. Till then, we'll see ya.